Your state has a trial rule which affords the defendant the right to have you examined by a doctor who is not one of your treating physicians. This exam is often called a defense medical exam, or DME. This exam is a physical or mental assessment of your injuries claimed in your lawsuit. A physician who has been hired by the defense conducts the exam. This doctor's job is to form conclusions about your injuries. Here are guidelines which will help this exam process go as smoothly as possible for you. You should arrive 15 minutes prior to your scheduled appointment time. When you arrive, you should check in at the front desk. The physician's staff may hand you a clipboard of forms to fill out. Talk to your attorney about these forms prior to the DME. Your attorney may instruct you to only fill out the sheet asking for your full name and basic information about you. Your attorney may tell you not to fill out any papers asking you in what specific areas you have pain, to rate your pain using a scale of 1 to 10, and to avoid forms with questions about the accident or your previous medical condition. Whatever forms your attorney has instructed you to fill out, always do so to the best of your ability and always be honest. Your attorney may have hired a videographer to videotape during your DME. Recording the exam on video holds the physician accountable for whatever opinions he renders about your injury. Just as the court reporter types everything that is said for the court record, the video will record what happens during the DME. The examination process should be videotaped in its entirety, with the exception of getting into an exam gown. If the doctor asks that the videotape be turned off for a moment while still examining you, you may politely state that I would rather the videographer continue documenting the examination. If the doctor insists, then take a break from the DME to call your attorney for guidance. At no point during the exam should you be separated from the videographer, other than when dressing or undressing. Your defense medical exam, or DME, will most likely have two parts. In the first part, the doctor interviews you to obtain your medical history. The second part will be a physical examination in which the doctor will personally examine your injury. There may be a third part in which the doctor may take his or her own x-rays, lab tests, and so on. The examining physician will start out by asking you a number of questions so that he may understand your medical history. Although your medical records were sent to the doctor, he may not have looked over them. You should still answer his questions completely and honestly. If you do not remember something from the past, simply state, "I don't remember." Do not guess. You should be aware of all the medications you currently take. If the list is rather long, write them down and take the list to the DME. You need to be knowledgeable of other injuries and treatment for those injuries. You will also want to be familiar with any prior problems you have had with the same parts of your body that were injured in the accident. Also be aware of any prior surgeries that you have undergone. You should be polite and cooperative with the physician. The examining doctor will ask you about your health before and after the accident. The doctor may ask you questions about the facts of the accident. Be sure to answer the questions honestly. If you do not remember the details about a specific question the doctor has asked you, it is okay to tell the doctor you don't remember. The doctor may ask you questions about the liability of the case, that is, who was at fault or what caused the injury. These questions may be along the lines of, what were you doing when the crash happened? Could you have avoided the crash? Or simply, who caused the crash? You will need to talk to your attorney before the DME about these questions. Your attorney may instruct you not to answer any questions about the liability of the case. If so, you should tell the doctor, "I have been instructed by my attorney not to answer those questions." After the doctor has compiled your medical history, he will then start the examination. Unless otherwise instructed by your attorney, only one physician should be examining you. A member of the physician's staff may be present during X-rays, laboratory tests, electromyograms, and electroencephalograms. Other than these tests, the only people present during your exam should be the examining doctor, yourself, and, if hired, the videographer. If the examining doctor invites another physician into the room, you may politely say, "I was instructed by my attorney that I am to be examined by one doctor and one doctor only." The doctor will check your reflexes and ask where you have pain. Make sure to tell the doctor all of your pains, symptoms, and difficulties. Be sure not to exaggerate their severity. The doctor may have you walk around the room, move your head from side to side, or lift your arms above your head. Do not hold back while performing these motions. Even if you are restricted in a particular area, move until you feel pain and then simply tell the doctor that it hurts to go on. Do not try to exaggerate your physical limitations. If you do, the doctor will see that you're acting. If you do not have pain, you should tell the physician there is no pain. Keep in mind that the doctor may be observing your movements from the time you step out of your car until the time you leave. If you walk out of the office like you normally would, but during the exam you exaggerate limitations as you walk, the doctor will conclude that you are faking your injuries. Do not exaggerate. For example, if you have numbness in your shoulder, do not tell the doctor that your whole arm is numb. There are simple tests that doctors can perform to verify where your numbness or weakness is located. Deceiving the physician in any way could cause great damage to your case. You must always be honest. The first chance you have once the DME is over, write down as much as you can remember from the exam, including what was discussed, how you were examined, and how long the DME lasted. Let's review the guidelines for your DME. Arrive 15 minutes early. Talk to your attorney before your DME. You need instructions on how to fill out the initial paperwork at the doctor's office and how to answer questions related to the liability of the case. Whatever forms your attorney has instructed you to fill out, always do so to the best of your ability. Answer all questions completely and honestly, and never guess. If a videographer has been hired, the exam should be videotaped in its entirety, other than when dressing or undressing. Be aware of your medical history, prior injuries, surgeries, and all medications you currently take. Only one physician should be examining you except during X-rays, lab tests, and the like. Tell the doctor all of your pains, symptoms, and limitations. However, do not exaggerate. If you have any questions about your DME, please write them down and arrange a time to meet with your attorney prior to your DME to discuss your concerns. By being prepared for your defense medical exam, you will be more cooperative and helpful to the physician, which in turn will help your case.